Hello.
Right, members and everybody else, welcome back. We've had our discussion and I propose that we accept the additional information and agree that there are exceptional circumstances as to why we should do it. Do I have agreement on that?
Agreed.
You say yes? Agreed? Okay, we will take that into consideration. So we're happy to have sufficient information and no other procedures are required. So, Ms. Green, you want to come back with the relevant policies and etc.?
Yes, thank you. So these are the relevant policy considerations for the determination of the application. In terms of National Planning Framework for policies 1 and 2 on the climate crisis and mitigation, policy 7 on historic assets and places, policy 14 on design, and policy 16 on quality homes. And then from the local development plan, the design policy D1, the historic environment, and D6, and the zoning policy, which is H1 residential areas. And then the relevant Aberdeen planning guidances are the householder design guide and also the Albine Place and Ruberslow conservation area character appraisal, as the site falls within that. We're aware that the Equality Act is relevant, also the Historic Environment Policy for Scotland and the Managing Change Guidance on Boundaries. So just covering again policy 1 on tackling the climate crisis, where all development proposals should be considered in terms of significant weight being given to climate and nature crises, and policy 2 on climate mitigation and adaptation. So looking at policy 7, this is on historic assets and places, with the overall intent being to protect and enhance historic environment assets and places, and that would include conservation areas. And then paragraph D in particular relates to conservation areas and states that proposals will only be supported where the character and appearance of the conservation area and its setting is preserved or enhanced. And considerations would include those 3 bullet points, the third of which is context and citing quality of design and suitable materials. Policy 16 on quality homes has this paragraph that relates to householder development, and it supports that type of development provided there is no detrimental impact on character and environmental quality of the home and surrounding area in terms of size, design and materials, and also on neighbouring properties in terms of physical impact. Just looking at the policies on design and the 6 qualities of successful places. Again, this one relates most to quality 4 distinctive, which provides for supporting attention to details of local architectural styles. And this is the zoning policy H1 residential areas. So new householder development is accepted in principle, providing these 4 criteria are acceptable, and it includes criteria 2 that the proposal does not have an unacceptable impact on the character and amenity of the surrounding area, and also supplementary guidance is relevant. The local development plan policy D6 on historic environment. This looks at preserving and enhancing the city's historic environment, with particular mention of new features and fixings should be designed to respect the character, appearance and setting of the historic environment. The householder design guide has this section on fences, walls and boundary treatments, and it says that they should be appropriate to their context and not detract from the street scene, and also not have an unacceptable impact on the amenity of neighbours. And also to cover Historic Environment Scotland's Managing Change Guidance on Boundaries. In particular, it emphasises that walls, fences and boundary treatments are important elements that have an impact in conservation areas, and that the design and materials are the factors that contribute to the interest of historic boundaries. So just looking at the Albine Place and Ruberslow Conservation Area character appraisal, the site lies within this Area C down here. And in the agenda, I put 2 sections of the character appraisal plan, which I won't read through, but the description in there refers to the Victorian development of the city, the planned streetscapes and the formal front gardens. So turning to evaluation, as we know, this requires all applications to be determined in accordance with the development plan unless material considerations indicate otherwise, with each application treated on merit. So the decision in this case, how would the boundary treatment affect the character and amenity of the conservation area? And does the proposal comply with the development plan as a whole, or other material considerations weighing for or against? And I'm happy to answer any questions. Thank you.
Members, questions from Ms. Green? Sandra, is that your hand up?
Yeah, it's my real hand, not the electronic one. Could you take us back, Ms. Green, to the site layout? I just want to understand where what is determined as boundary now, where the new fences in comparison to the historic boundary that would have divided the 2 properties. And just to understand as well, in terms of the height, where that would be on the front bay window of the properties in question.
Yes, I mean the fence sits in a little from the boundary, but
how little is little in that? I'm just trying to understand.
Well, it's indicated as being 47 centimetres at this, and then 20 centimetres here. I assume it's for maintenance, that it's been set in a little.
So that's half a metre really at the pavement, almost.
Yes.
Okay. And then the height as it exists at the moment, if we go back to the I don't know if it was a Google picture where you had a big arrow going down to the
yeah, let's find it.
Wasn't that one?
No, that's yeah.
That's a boundary. Yeah.
Oh yes, see there, yeah. So where does 1.7 come to with the bamboo cane extension to the hedge? Do we know? Does it come up to the casing of the window, or is it how high does it go there? What is 1.7 meters?
Yeah, it's not actually shown on the. Sorry. Didn't mean to
Can
jump
we
there.
go back to that picture with the hedge at the side? The next picture to that. No, the one that showed the hedge up the side of the building.
I think you need to go forward.
Let me just jump to the.
Yeah, there.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
yeah, that's just on Google.
right,
Yeah.
so can I comment on this? Sorry, judging at that, I would think those hedges that we can see are about a metre high.
So
Roughly.
where the bins are and the top of the green hedge would be a metre.
Yeah, I'm thinking this hedge at the front, plus that one up the side towards, would be a metre, and then that big bush at the end would probably be taking it up to pretty close to the height of the proposed fence, I would think, because that looks like about a metre high. If it's a roadside hedge, that's usually about the size of them, judging by the gate.
Yeah, it's
Was
a bit
green?
higher than the. Yes, I mean it's a bit higher than the gate, so
Yeah.
I would have thought it's a bit higher than a metre.
Well, let's say 1.2 metres for that. So you're looking at that half a metre above that, which would roughly be about the height of that bush beside the window.
Would it be as high as that, or would it be where the stakes are?
Yeah, that would be my estimate that it would be where that netting is.
Yeah. But it's a solid fence, that's halfway up the window, isn't it?
Well, about a third of the way up the window.
Move this along and look from the other side.
That's it there. Okay.
Yeah.
And could you just go back to just the houses on either side, please, Miss Green, just to see what the other, because some of the other, see that one there with the trees, they're more sculpted trees, so they're different again, aren't they? And then there's that big one further along with a fence and a very tall hedge.
That's the one referred to in the submissions, and that one
Oh, is it? Okay.
does not have planning permission. It's and it's beyond enforcement.
And it's unusual in the scape as well. And and on the other side of the road, what's on the other side? Yeah, okay. That's what I thought. Yeah. It's a mixture of walls and okay, thank you.
Okay, any other questions for Ms. Green? Right, in accordance with the procedural note circulated, the local review body will now discuss and decide the manner in which the review is to proceed. I would highlight that all representations related to the case have been considered and taken into account. Determination, members. I am inclined to uphold the officer's recommendation and decision on this one. I think it is correct. We're speaking about a front fence here, and it'd be totally out of keeping with the rest of the street. So I'm happy to go with the officer's recommendations here. MD feel otherwise?
I'm tending to go otherwise, convener, and to with the condition that it is painted green and hopefully some clematis grows, but I wouldn't be holding that as a condition. But that given that there are
Are you
yeah,
also saying,
I'll formally say I think.
are you saying reduce it in height by 2 slats, or are you happy for it to be the full 1.7?
Oh, I think reduce it by 2 slats, not the full height. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, Councillor Thompson.
Yeah, I'd be inclined to agree with Councillor MacDonald. I think the reduction in height plus the softening of the boundary treatment with suitable plantings such as clematis or other climbing plants would be acceptable, considering that there are a variety of boundary treatments within the area.
Okay, Councillor Lawrence.
Yes, I would agree with that. With the reduction in height and obviously the painting of the green, I think the walls further up look like pinning, it's got the car pinning dike made with just leftover granite for the building. And these would have been original if they are, and they're quite common at that height. So I haven't got a problem if it's with a reduction of the two slats and the planting to camouflage it with the paint. I would be happy with that.
Okay, Ms. Green, you want to come in there?
Yes, were members discussing a condition that would remove the slats? It's just as the application is only for the fence, it wouldn't normally be, we would normally not be conditioning, altering the scheme in that way. I suppose my slight hesitation on that is that the applicant has offered it in the in her submissions. I don't know whether legal have anything to add to that.
I don't really have anything further to add to what you said. Obviously, in the normal course of events, we wouldn't be looking to do that. But given that this is something that the applicant has offered in her notice of review, I would be comfortable with a condition on that basis.
Okay, I'll make it unanimous then. For the sake, so we're saying overturn the officer's recommendation to approve the installation with a reduced height fence painted green and with some planting to break it up. Is that what we're saying?
Yes,
Yeah.
thank you, convener.
Is that acceptable, Ms. Green and Ella?
So to summarise, you'd have a condition removing two slats of the fence. Then secondly, submission of a sample of a dark green colour to be agreed.
Yeah.
And thirdly, the planting of a clematis, or we could request details of planting of a climbing plant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, members, that's it. The decision from today's meeting will be issued to the applicant and agent in the forthcoming days. Thank you all. That's us for today.
Thank you.
Thanks.
That's